confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
Y'all black females out here, y'all don't understand the struggles of being a black man out here in America and not knowing whether or not you gonna make it home to your children every night because of the police gunning you down.
But don't y'all be out here gunning each other down?
Okay, but we ain't talking about that.
Hell, don't y'all be rapping about killing each other in music?
We ain't talking about that either. We can talk about killing each other in rap music, but we don't like the police killing us. Stay on subject, woman.
You brought up your kids. Tyrone, you don't even see your kids.
And then, yeah, I be trying to see my kids. You know my baby mamas be tripping because I don't want to be with none of them, so they be holding my kids from me. You know that.
Okay, but your baby mama saying you don't get them no child support either.
Okay, but I still be going out my way to try to see them.
They live 5 minutes from my house, Tyrone.
That is out my way, woman. See, y'all, that's why we don't like y'all black women's mouths. Y'all run y'all mouth too much. Y'all always bringing up stuff that's irrelevant.
Well, was you cheating on me irrelevant?
I only cheated on you 10 times. You act like I do it every day, bruh. See, that's why we date women of other races, man.
Hey, boos, hey. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Woman Exodus. How are y'all doing? And like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. Please comment in the comment section. Say what's up to me in the chat. Let me know that you all are listening. Also, when you have a moment, please do me a favor and follow my backup channel. It is called LexX. That is LEXEX. And you'll also see the link in the description below. Also, when you have a moment, please follow me on all my socials. You can find me at Lexus Exodus everywhere. That includes Facebook and Instagram. Also on TikTok, even though they tried to cancel your girl, I'm back. So please take a second and follow me on my social media platforms. I'd love to see you guys over there. Okay, so tonight I wanted to talk about true masculinity. Okay, so I wanted to discuss this specifically, how we see this being illustrated and how this is prevalent during the current Ukraine conflict. And obviously, this is not a political channel, so I won't share an in-depth analysis of what's going on abroad. If you'd like a play-by-play breakdown of this conflict and in-depth analysis on what's happening here, I'd encourage you to go over to CNN or go to another political analyst platform. But I did want to discuss this, though, because I've noticed several interesting observations and several nuances and several stark differences in how the men that are involved in this conflict are displaying true masculinity by standing up and courageously and vigorously protecting their communities. And not only that, they've also specifically and intentionally made an effort to protect the women and children in their communities. And I think that this observation is so interesting, and I wanted to delve deeper with this because when you analyze what we're seeing now and compare and contrast what we're seeing now, you'll see stark cultural differences in how masculinity is defined and how it's displayed and what is expected from the men within Blackistan and from those who are within the Black community. So I thought this was such an interesting idea, interesting observation, and wanted to touch on this topic and really unpack this. So you'll see truly masculine men fighting on the front lines. You'll see them in battlegrounds during times of war. And these are the men who courageously will risk their lives and lose their lives fearlessly, trying to defend their communities and their families. So now that we know the profile of men who are truly masculine, I want to get into a few examples of this and talk about the Ukraine conflict. So first off, I want to talk about how Ukraine has ordered the women and children to leave the community, so that the men can be men and fight and defend the country themselves. So let's watch this clip and then we will chat.
we are afraid. My husband is still there. We'll fight, even if Europe doesn't help us.
We decided yesterday that we want to leave the country.
My husband is still in Lviv. They do not allow men to cross the border.
I hope the war will end as soon as possible, and we want just to go home.
Do y'all see what I mean? Do y'all see this? So it's been mandated that the men have to remain and fight for Ukraine. It's not an option. She said the men can't even leave if they wanted to. And, they're talking about how they're sad. But it is what it is, because this is what men do. That's true masculinity. They're prioritizing the safety and well-being of the women and children. And that's it. Okay? So they're not sitting here expecting for the women and children to fight alongside with them. They certainly aren't expecting the women and children to stand in the line of gunfire for them, like we see within the Black community. No, men who are men illustrate true masculinity and protect the women and the children. So they're saying, hey, y'all leave. We need to make sure you're safe. So y'all go ahead and leave, go to safety, go to another country during this time of war and of violence, and during this tumultuous time. The men are going to stay here, and we're going to defend our communities. Okay? So culturally, other groups of men understand true masculinity so much so that recently an 80-year-old Ukrainian man is even signing up to fight for his family. And he said he's doing all this for his grandkids, y'all. 80 years old. So let's look at this. Okay, so here's this man, this elderly man, 80 years old, with his bags. And it says, the caption says, someone posted a photo of this 80-year-old who showed up to join the army, carrying with him a small case with 2 t-shirts, a pair of extra pants, a toothbrush, and a few sandwiches for lunch. He said he was doing it for his grandkids. Do y'all hear me? See what I mean? So that's leadership. That's manhood. That's true masculinity. This man is 80 damn years old. Probably can't bust a grape. Quite frankly, at that age, he should be resting in a retirement home somewhere in another country, enjoying his golden years. But he's saying, nah, even though I don't have to, because I think the age requirement stops at 60. But he's saying, even though you guys aren't requiring me to, I'm still a man. I'm still a man, even though I'm old, even though I'm in my 80s. My duty is to protect my community and my family. So I'm going to do what I got to do to protect my grandkids, y'all. And he's not even mentioning his kids in this. He's saying he's fighting for his grandchildren. Do y'all hear me? So this is true masculinity. Here within the community, the Dusties don't even give a damn about their own damn kids, let alone their grandchildren. And this man is elderly. He is a senior, and he's saying, I feel an obligation to step up to the plate to protect my grandchildren, to protect my community, to protect my loved ones. Okay? That's true masculinity. Now that we've looked at that, I want to review the stark differences in Blackistan and talk about how the opposite is expected within the Black community and how women and children are expected to fight the men's fights for them. Okay, so let's discuss this video that went viral a while back of Haitians trying to legally cross the border here in the States. and guards denigrating them because they were hiding behind the women and children while trying to do this. So let's watch this, y'all.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this. You go, that way.
So do you see the stark differences here? Okay, so true masculinity is bravely protecting yourself and your community. That's what men do. But here we see these men hiding behind the women and children. That's what they do across the board, both domestically and abroad. They hide up under the women's skirts. You know, instead of protecting and providing, they expect us to do that for them. So the men who are men said, this is why your country ain't shit. This is why. Because you cower behind the women and children. And you passively expect for them to problem solve and protect and provide instead of doing it like men should be doing. Do you see what I mean? So I want to keep going with this because this video only pertained to Haitian men. But again, this is a global problem where we see Dusties not displaying true masculinity. So it's happening here domestically too in the States where the nignogs just expect us to defend their lives with the BLM movement. So I want to watch this that illustrates my point.
No justice, no peace. 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 No justice.
Oh boy. This video is a few years old, but it still makes me upset because here we have this baby out here on the front line. She looks no older than 5 or 6 years old. I'm talking about no justice, no peace, fighting for justice in the streets, trying to protect the men here experiencing police brutality. Okay. So do y'all see the stark differences here? Listen, so in Ukraine, they said, no, the women and children need to go. Y'all don't need to be here. We need to make sure that you're safe. We need to make sure that you're taken care of, that you're protected. We need to make sure that your well-being is okay. That's true masculinity. Not with the Dusties. In Blackistan, the women and children are expected to fight and to protect the men for them. As a matter of fact, we're expected to stand on the front lines and catch the rubber bullets and to get tear gas while they sit up and kick up their feet and watch all this nonsense from the safety of their homes like little pretty princesses. Because what I personally observed during the GF protests, it was the Black women and children standing in the line of gunfire. It was other groups of men out there fighting. It was other groups of women out there fighting as well. You know, we were the ones taking rubber bullets to the face and getting tear gas, not the men. And this don't make no damn sense. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Even my own child, his father's mother, so his paternal grandmother, took him to a protest without my knowledge during the GF riots. Okay, so there was this 60-year-old woman and my 7-year-old boy out on the front lines fighting these men's battles. Guess where all the men in my son's family were? Guess where my son's father and his grandfather was? Nowhere to be found. But here you let this 60-year-old woman and this defenseless 7-year-old boy fight your battles for you. This is what I mean. That's not true masculinity. That's cowardly. You know, these men will be very passive with getting subjugated and with getting brutalized and with getting victimized and expect for us to fight their battles for them. When in Ukraine, they're saying, nah, the women and children need to go. Let us handle this. That's what men do.
Shout out to my exes.
Hey, 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 y'all. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. If you didn't know already, Black women are beautiful. Black women are intelligent and incredible. Black women are phenomenal and make great wives and mothers.
I want to speak to your manager.
Black women should be respected and deserve to be loved.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Black women deserve to be treated like human beings at least. Listen, guys, if you're like me, you are so tired of your favorite Black female content creators getting harassed by the trolls, silenced on social media, and censored by YouTube. We work so hard to stand up for Black women, and although YouTube allows us to be regularly berated, ridiculed, and degraded by Dusties every day on the platform, as soon as we say one word to clap back, we're threatened with channel violations and are told to be silent or we will have our platforms removed. The biased algorithms, inconsistently enforced policies, and persistent trolling on YouTube is unacceptable and needs to stop. If you agree, meet me over on my Patreon, where you will be able to access completely raw, unfiltered, exclusive Lexus Exodus content. You will be able to access uncut, uncensored, and ad-free content, 2 bonus videos a week, access to the private Discord community, and much, much more. So meet me over on the Patreon at patreon.com/LexusExodus. The link is also in the description below.
Shout out to my exes.
Okay, here's another video that illustrates the stark differences between what's happening within this community and other groups of men.
No peace. No justice. 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 No peace. Go ahead, Queen. Our street. Our street. Our street. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. No justice. No peace. 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 No justice.
This makes me so damn angry, y'all. This makes me so damn angry. Another gorgeous little Black girl, a baby, out here on the front lines. And we know what happened during the GF protests. They were burning down buildings. They were lighting ish on fire. They were vandalizing, breaking windows. People were getting their lives tragically taken from them. People getting ran over and all sorts of ish during these protests. So baby girl should have been at home. I'm trying to think what I was doing at that age. She looks like maybe 12 or 13, maybe even younger. At that time, I was outside playing double dutch. Y'all, I was sitting there at home playing with Barbie dolls. I certainly wasn't out on the front lines talking about no justice, no peace. Risking my lives for the lives of men who can defend themselves. This girl is skipping because she's a child. She's skipping and dancing because that's what children are supposed to be doing. This is a baby. What if something happened to her? What if she got harmed? What if she got pepper sprayed? You know, her parents have her out here fighting the battle that these men should be fighting. Okay, here's another that illustrates this problem. So let's watch this and then we will chat.
No one is to cross in front of the Black women. No one. None. When we see danger, we will let y'all know what to do.
Everybody keep a steady pace. No one crosses in front of the black women.
These are our streets. We need the right foot.
Listen, people in the front, we need y'all to clear a way for them.
I want everybody to understand that we are in a position of day one.
Oh, what a mess. So here we see another BLM protest, and we see the men specifically indicating that the women need to stand up front and they need to be in the front lines guarding the men and protecting the men. Okay, so in Ukraine, we see the men saying the women and children should not be here during times of war. Here in Blackistan, we see the Dusties literally telling the woman to stand in front of them so they can take the tear gassings and the pepper spraying and the rubber bullets so they can catch those to the face, so they can risk their lives protecting these fools. Do y'all see what I mean? Like, these fools have no shame. These fools have no shame. Here we have women who are supposed to be feminine, who are supposed to be protected, who should be at home resting in their femininity with their feet kicked up, acting as men, defending the community, while the men passively hide up under their skirts. This is very problematic. This is not okay. Okay, so I want to keep going, and I want to get back to Ukraine and examine how there are Africans stuck in Ukraine right now. And I want to talk about how this just further really illustrates how there's a totally different definition of masculinity with the Dusties in comparison to other groups of men. Okay, so the caption of this video says Africans in Ukraine are reportedly having a hard time getting out of the country. So let's watch these clips.
The target asking for safety, thank you for the peace you are working out in Ukraine. Thank you for all that you go. The target asking for safety, thank you for the peace you are working out in Ukraine. Thank you for all that you go. The target asking for safety, thank you for the peace you are working out in Ukraine.
Okay, so here they are talking about how Ukraine is only allowing Ukrainian women and children to leave. And then we have the caption says the community of Africans in Ukraine are stranded at a border, much of them women and children. Okay, and so they're outside in 3-degree weather, and they're talking about how they're not being allowed to leave. All right.
Kids they are allowing in through these gates. All the places blocked and all are full of blacks from different communities, from different countries. Nobody's talking to us. See them here. These are the black community here. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them. They have been here for days and nobody's asking any questions. Only Ukrainian woman.
Here's some more Africans. And it says visuals of the day. Ukraine left African families stranded at the train. Okay.
People left without taking the blacks. Man. None of the blacks, man. See. None. Even the black guys that already have kids, they took their kids and their wife and left the niggas behind. Like, everyone is stranded. This is really too.
Okay, so the caption of this video says Africans being refused entry into a train taking people from Ukraine to Poland. Africans were forced to wait for Ukrainians to go first in several trains and had to wait until all Ukrainians had boarded trains before they would be allowed to get into one. Okay. So I empathize for the women and children here. I empathize for these people. I really do. You know, my heart is broken about what's happening with this conflict overall, especially for those who are unable to leave. But I have to say, this is what happens when the men don't own anything. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so when your own country is in ruins because you won't build anything, you don't have economies, you can't create infrastructure. This is what happens when you run to another man's country where you don't own anything. So these men, they left their native areas and ran to the white man's country, expecting opportunities because they failed to succeed in their own native areas. Well, in the white man's country, he makes the rules. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't cry about racism and discrimination. This is his house. He has the right to see that his people get to safety first, and that his own natural born citizens are vacated and safe first. It sucks, but tough nuts. That's how it goes. True masculinity would have been owning your own ish, building your own countries up so that you can be prosperous and have opportunities where you're from, and so that you can make the rules. Okay? That this is complaining about this is like being a guest in my house and me feeding you and your children before me and mine. It don't work like that. It just doesn't. Naturally, I'm going to make sure my own people are good first. And you can cry foul all you want to. It is what it is. My house, my rules. Okay? Furthermore, the white man said the women and children can leave, but the men need to stay. So why are y'all nignogs here griping about not being able to leave the country yourself? No, you've experienced the benefits and opportunities of this area. When everything was all good, you was fine staying here. Okay, so you got to stay and fight to protect the country when things get tough. All right? You can't have it both ways. You can't just come and reap the benefits, but don't make any of the sacrifices. That's not how it works. Okay? This isn't true masculinity, y'all. It's not. Again, true masculinity is building your own infrastructure, building your own economies, building your own opportunities. Okay? It's being able to have ownership, being able to build. It's also making sure that you remain and that you protect the women and children in the community. Okay? Men are supposed to protect, provide, and problem solve. If you're unable to do any of those three things, you are not a man. That's not true masculinity. And I think that's our takeaway here, Black women. You know I have a large following who are not divested women. Make your own choices. Do whatever is best for you. But I would strongly encourage you to think long and hard about how you move going forward. Because at the very least, you should not be out on the front lines trying to protect and risk your lives for men who should be doing that themselves. Do y'all hear me? I'm not going to be out there being a social justice warrior for men who refuse to protect themselves. That's not true masculinity, y'all. All right. That's all I got. Until next time. See you guys. Bye.
Fellas, if y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.